What's happening, people? Yeah, let's get close to the camera and welcome to, hang on, bear with me, it's been a busy day. Episode 7. We're on 7 already of Flashback to the Village. So that must mean, again, people are still watching or still enjoying it. So I'll keep doing it until no one watches. And it'll just be me watching it over and over on reruns.
You know, I think you should add some dancing, man. Definitely. You know, like who wants to? Oh shoot! There you go, yo. You see.
We'll pass it on. There you go.
Do it. You gotta do the. You gotta start on that side and then come this way.
Something like that. That's why we do videos and not dancing.
Listen, man. Hey, listen. It's entertainment. It's obviously good for the people. Thank you so much, Cat Master Flash. What? This is dope, man.
Thank you very much. And well, as if you didn't already realise, my guest is Boston hat designer and collector, also best coquis creating hat designer.
No.
How are we?
Thank you so much, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to anyone that tunes in after the fact, obviously, because this is pre-recorded, which I'm grateful for because we can go back and edit, right?
yeah. Listen, I'll keep everything in this one week. Keep it in. The reason I do it pre-recorded is the simple fact that the majority of my guests, you're all US side, so it's easier than trying to say to someone, right, I need you available at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night, but then I've also got to get up for work Wednesday, so I don't want to be sitting here 3 o'clock. And Mr. Red Bull, I'm surprised you've not got a sponsorship yet from Red Bull.
No, I haven't been sponsored yet. I've emailed them. I've tried. You know, Red Bull doesn't see a need in letting me be an ambassador or sponsor yet. So I'm still working my way to that ambassadorship.
just keep an email a week. They'll soon be like this guy again. Just send them some stuff.
Just spam their email. You know, as a matter of fact, everybody just spam Red Bull's emails and tell them, hey, Cat Burr needs to be one of your representatives, your ambassador. You know, definitely sponsor that guy.
100%.
No, but again, good day to all of y'all tuning in. Obviously, this is flashback to the fitteds. I mean, how awesome is this?
We're trying to make it something. We're trying. We're seven in. So
yeah,
let's see if we can make it to 17. That's the next step.
Ooh. Well, 17 is my favorite number, so that's a good thing.
Perfect.
So what's up, Grandmaster? I almost called you Grandmaster Flash because that's actually where your handle came from, right?
Yeah, it's half Grandmaster Flash and half the Flash. Half Flash Gordon, however you want to perceive it, but Grandmaster Flash did have a large influence in this name.
And you see how I secretly got you to do some breakdancing, some moves there. That was dope. I got it done.
The conspiracy theorists on the internet will say that was all premeditated, but it was genuinely.
It was AI. It was AI. That was not Capmaster Flash. That was AI.
Exactly. So.
What's up, buddy?
Well, you know how the show works. We're not award-winning journalists or anything, so it's literally we keep it simple. We let the conversation flow. We look at some hats, hear some stories, look at some history, and try and entertain the people. So
yeah,
we always
do a little dancing.
The score.
No, okay.
The bad thing now. This will be on the internet forever. This is forever available now.
I know.
I don't even know what it is, but
see. Listen, if I ever get to meet you in person, number one, you're going to be tall as heck, and I'm short. You know, so I know that you're like 7'2", and I'm only,
Some may say that is the myth. It's the law.
And I'm only 5'8", so so I'm not that tall.
Listen, you're taller than someone that's 5'5". That's all you got to see.
True.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, let's talk about hats, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people watching us, talk, dance. So now we're gonna talk about hats.
We'll get down to the business end of things.
Let's do it. Let's do it. What you got?
The age old question that we always start with: why fitteds? What got you into collecting fitteds?
I gotta tell you, fitteds was something that I got into later on in life. Throughout my life, I'm 46 years old now. For those that don't know, I'm older in the game, or whatever people call unc or grandpa or whatever you want to call me. But it's something that I got into later on. I want to say I got into collecting fitteds heavily about 3 years ago, and it became this hobby. It became something that was a release for me from my everyday, life, my everyday routine. And hats was something that I could turn to and just collect. And man, these are just a few, but I got a whole bunch more everywhere else in this office. But it just became something that's fun. And when I noticed that it was more of a community, it was even better. So I like that aspect of it, and I've been hooked ever since.
Was it like, so? Obviously, that was the collecting part of it. But have you always been a hat person? Have you always been that person that wears a hat a lot of the time throughout your life, or is it more so now that you started collecting, it's become more of a thing?
No, I mean, I've always worn a hat. I just never really paid attention to, like, if it was like a fitted or if it was a snapback. It was never really like, oh my gosh, I got to get this one instead of this one. It was more or less like what people in the community, say, buy what you like. So a lot of it was just buying what you liked. And I still do that, even till this day. I still just buy what I like. I slowed down a lot from buying a lot of hats, just financially. But no, man, I've always bought what I liked. And I can't even remember the first hat I ever bought, but I'm 100% sure that it was at a Lids. So shout out to Lids, because obviously I think a lot of people get their beginning with the hat stuff at Lids. So
RIP Lids in the UK, obviously no longer exists.
Well, what's amazing is, like, I never really even paid attention to, where's the hat from? Like, is it a New Era hat? Is it a 47 brand? Or is it a Mitchell and Ness? It was just more about the hat. It was more about, did I like the colorway? Was it a team that I was, really, really in touch with at the time? Something like that. Like, it wasn't really what it is now. I'm a lot more focused now on what I like about certain things and certain materials.
Yeah, and I think now and today, New Era is literally, it's a worldwide brand. Everyone know, when you think New Era, you think hats. Whereas I think, especially when I was young, like, I'm 43, I'm not far behind you. So, with, in all due respect, no.
Thank you, buddy.
I remember, like, my first hats. What my mum come home and she had some wool Mitchell and Ness snapbacks, and there were like Dallas Stars, Red Wings, Charlotte Hornets, just some nice ones. And again, I think at that point, I've never heard of a New Era hat. So that to me that's a hat, and I think it, especially in the UK over to us, I think it was only with the introduction of rap. So like on MTV, you're seeing Wu-Tang, Nas, all that with, and you're like, what hat's that? And then you start, and you learn that, oh, that's a New Era hat, and then you find out that, oh, actually it's worn by baseball professionals, and that's when you find all the stuff out. But it's never a household name like when I was a kid, anyway.
No, and I mean, no one really in my family was big on hats. I mean, I played baseball growing up as a kid, so I always wore a ball cap, and it just I always followed baseball players. Like, I remember, Jose Canseco was my favorite baseball player. When I was a kid. Obviously, so many things came afterwards as I grew up, and he was in a big scandal. But growing up, Jose Canseco was like my my guy. I mean, Bobby Bonilla was another one. You know what I mean? Like these are just,
Canseco, that was the first ever baseball player I ever heard of, because we had friends in that were American, and I remember because he played for the A's, didn't he?
Yeah, the Oakland Athletics. Yeah.
I remember because he was jacked, wasn't he? And that was the scandal. Like, I remember him, Sosa,
Mark McGwire,
because and the only reason I remember Mark McGwire is because didn't he have some crazy hitting streak or something? And that made the news over here, and it was like, oh, he's gonna do whatever. And that was the first I ever got to realize who Mark McGwire was.
But it was him and Sammy Sosa that were going against each other in this slugfest. And you know, you had him, you had people like Barry Bonds that were just slamming the ball. You had Cal Ripken Jr., you had Ken Griffey. You know, you had so many players that you know, I remember growing up with and seeing, and you know, baseball and hats has always been in my life. I think you know, 3 years ago was when I was just like, you know what, I'm getting older, trying to find a, you know, hobby other than smoking cigars. I like cigars, but you know, hats just when I got involved with hats, it was another realm. It was another world where you know, I found out custom hats are a thing. You could color these hats in different ways and different patches and different logos and different materials for hats. And as soon as I found that out, I was like, my gosh, the possibilities are endless, you know, and people could really translate a lot in just one little crown. And it's so amazing. So that's what got me hooked.
As well, finding it obviously later in life, and then finding out that you can get all these patches and that, I'm sure a lot of this will then trigger memories for you sports wise when you go back and you go, shit, yeah, I remember that all-star game or 92 or whatever, or let's make a hat on this, or I remember that, and then it'll trigger inspiration, memories, and it's got that nostalgia factor, which a lot of it is about nostalgia factor, I think.
It's really cool because like you said, you could take this back to when you were growing up, a special moment in your own sports history, you know, that kind of just reflects with that age or that year, and not only that, but kind of just capture moments that meant a lot. And you know, now we have people designing hats for you know, television characters, cartoon characters, Pokemon, and you know, so many different things, Power Rangers and Voltron. And there are a lot of cool things that can come out of, you know, creating a hat. And, you know, I want to take a moment real quick to just salute everybody that's out there creating, you know, there are a bunch of people that have created hats, and some people don't get enough recognition. A lot of people do, but, you know, my congratulations to everybody that's been able to create a hat, or you know, a lot of hats, because it's not easy. It isn't easy, and just to be able to say, man, there's a couple of hats out there based on my view of it or my creation, my thought process is so cool. So
yeah, and you're right, like in that journey of, like, obviously when you get into hats and then obviously the collecting, and a lot of it is, it's from a creative standpoint, it's the logos and things like that. And then when you learn about the creative side and the design potential, and it is hard. Like I've told you before, like literally 2 years of just messaging every store, just to be ignored, and then it's literally just speak to one person that goes, oh, I might know someone, let me speak to him. And then they speak to him and he's, oh yeah, he wants to have a look. And then from there, you develop and things start happening. So,
I mean, if I were to tell you, Cat Master Flash, that, you know, it was right off the first, you know, message to a store that I was able to create, I'd be lying to you. You know, I was first inspired to even think about creating a hat from seeing people like the Real Fitted Chef, which you know, God bless him, you know, God bless his family, obviously, but the real fitted chef was someone that started creating for Boston, and I'm a big Boston hat collector. I know that comes to to a lot of people as a shock, but and I know Catmaster Flash loves Boston, so shout out to Catmaster Flash. Yes, and thank you for wearing the Orlando, man. I mean, those that know,
I always try and theme it to my guests. So obviously, I know you're in Orlando, but then also I know you're a Boston fan. So
thank you. And for those that do know, Catmaster Flash is actually a Yankees fan. So for him to even display a Boston and have an Orlando hat on, it's an honor. Thank you so much. So
that's the only Boston I own, and I do. Shaquille O'Neal's my favorite player of all time, and
awesome.
And Orlando, we used to have friends that lived in Merritt Island, so I used to go to there every year, every 2 years. So
that's a nice place.
Yeah,
that's a nice place. But talking about the Real Fitted Chef, he was the first person that I kind of saw creating custom hats for Boston, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy is actually creating custom colorways that no one's ever really done, that are tied to certain things in Boston, like the Sam Adams beer, Oktoberfest Sam Adams. And it was so cool to see that, to see someone from Boston or from that region creating for Boston, and it be a Boston Red Sox hat. And then shout out to Crown Legends, which I believe that hat is from, by the way.
Crown Legends, yes.
Yes, shout out to Crown Legends. And for those that don't know, you could shop at Crown Legends online at shopcrownlegends.com. I got to do the shameless plug for Crown Legends.
We love a plug. Love a shameless plug.
But Crown Legends obviously gave the Real Fitted Chef and other people the first opportunity to create for Boston. And quite honestly, they were the first store to ever give me the opportunity to create. And I was, I'm still no one. I'm still an unknown in the hat community, which is super awesome, because it should always be level. Everything should always be level. And to be able to have Crown Legends reach out, they reached out to me and they said, hey, is this mock-up that you sent us, is it still available? And you can imagine my face. I was like, Crown Legends, the store, is actually asking if a mock-up is still available. Like, but what I didn't say is that I had sent them so many DMs over, over months, time span, just kind of trying to get them to look at me or to give me a shot, an opportunity. And they finally did. And I tell you, from that point, it was just an amazing journey ever since. You know what I mean? Like, another person that I want to give a huge shout out to is Geo, which on Instagram is he's at WGC_17. Because without him, I wouldn't have had my second hat mocked up, which was the hat that Crown Legends was able to bring to life for me. So Geo, because I didn't even know how to mock up hats when I first started. But Geo mocked it up.
To learn, to be fair, isn't it? You see, I remember when I was like, where do I get that template from? How do I? And then I remember getting the template, and I'm like, what do I do with this now? And then it's learning. A lot of people who've got Apple devices and that, they use Procreate.
Right.
And me, I'm not an Apple, but I'm a Samsung Android. So I literally taught myself how to use Photoshop. I watched a few YouTube videos and just got Photoshop and just attempted, and
now you do it on your own.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So I got to give another shout out to Hat Bodega. Hat Bodega has been with me throughout this journey of mocking up hats and creating. The template that I use came from him, and he has walked me through so much of what I now am able to create on my own and mock up on my own, things like that. But if it wasn't for Hat Bodega, I wouldn't know where to start with mocking up hats.
You make some nice Boston hats. He does because one of my UK friends, DJ Too Dark. He's a big fan of Hat Bodega. He does a lot of. He has a lot of Hat Bodega stuff. That's the one that we've always got on. Yeah, he's always. I think it's the second one at the back. Yeah, that's the one.
So this is his first one. This is his 1.0, and this is his 2.0 that glows in the dark. But I mean, this is Hat Bodega, and I mean, these are just so nice. And you know, I've been a fan of his. I've been a fan of the Real Fitted Chefs. I'm a fan. You know, I'm a huge fan of a lot of creators out there. So if I mention you guys, man, you know, just know I'm definitely a fan. So.
Is Hat Bodega? Is he a Boston guy? Like, is he actually from Boston? Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, he is. He's up there. He's still living up there, and so is the Real Fitted Chef, and so is Geo, which is WGC_17. They're still there. So you know, and me being in Orlando, I'm like, man, you know, it's gonna be difficult to connect with that Boston, that Boston crew, that Boston, group. But man, I tell you, man, they've been very welcoming. They've been very accepting. And, you know, I actually spent almost 15 years of my life in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is where Harvard and MIT are located. It's right across the river from Boston. So that's primarily why I'm a Boston fan. So,
yeah. Well, like you say, really, in today's day and age, doesn't matter where you are in the world. Technology, like here we are, 3,500 miles apart, but yet can have a conversation and do a show that'll go out to whoever wants to watch it. See, you're not limited no more, are you? It's not like a carrier pigeon or you have to write a letter, send it, wait 3 weeks for the reply. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, back in the day, I did use carrier pigeons because I'm that old. So, wait, is it? What time? How long have we been on here? We're 22 minutes? Yeah, we're at 22 minutes. Hey, for those of you that are still watching after 22 minutes, I think it's time for a dance break. What's up? Catmaster Flash, you ready for a dance break?
I don't even know what this is. Listen, I'll be honest, this is probably the last episode. No one's going to want to see anymore.
Master Flash is canceled after this. They don't want. People are like, I don't want to see him dance. He's done. But no, man. Listen, you know, obviously it's an honor to talk to you because you know you've been collecting and you've been, just purchasing, right? Because maybe it wasn't even collecting, but just purchasing hats for a long time, and the amount of special, hats that you have in your collection are things that people only dream of, or they seek on eBay or whatever, but you actually have them in your collection, and it's actually more impressive because you're overseas in the UK. So these are things that were sold either in the States, and you have managed to get them in your collection, which should speak volumes for anybody that ever tries to compete against this guy. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, like I get it. Most people have a lot of hats, but maybe it's just hats. You have pieces that many people don't have.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm sure there's many others like me. You know what I mean? And
right.
But what I like is like my collection to someone else's. Like someone might have 4 or 5 times more, and we might share some of the same hats or a lot of the same hats. But I'm like you. I'll buy what I want and wear what I want.
Yeah,
I've bought some zany, crazy stuff that no one wants. So I've got probably the most varied collection when it comes to. We've got sports, we've got drink stuff, we've got Halloween stuff, we've got streetwear stuff, I've got a sample of a UK rugby team. I mean,
but that's
I don't even watch rugby. You know
that's
what I mean?
what's awesome. Like that's what's awesome because it varies, to so many different realms within hat culture, right? And you just don't stick with one thing, which I find highly interesting. When I don't know if you showed it on a show, but we were a part of something. I think it was when you were on Keep It a Bean. when it was after the fact. We had gone off air, but you had shown some soda ones that were so damn impressive. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, cool. The Fanta Orange.
I showed some of them on episode 5 with Doug because it's relevant. Because so I showed them to Doug, like some of them.
They were amazing. I mean, I would love to have those.
Yeah, what I'll end up doing is because I said when I get to episode 10, I think I'm going to do episode 10 as like a live episode at the weekend, and then anyone that's been on in the first 10 episodes can just come on, and if there's 2, 3, 4 of us, we'll just talk and we'll share some stuff and show some stuff. That's what I'm going to do every 10 episodes.
Don't bring me on, man. Don't bring me on. You know what I'm going to ask you to do if you bring me on. Yeah. Oh, dude.
So that's what I'll end up doing. But I'm going to do some videos, separate videos of like that soda pack. I'm going to do a video of that, and then the food pack that I showed you.
Okay.
I'll show you the food pack, the ones with the undervisors. Then I'll do them and that. But
I love it.
Plenty of stuff to do videos on, and that is
it's cool, man.
Yeah, and it, like I say, it's a bit of history, and some people might have seen them, some people may not have seen them, and that's the
you want to get to hat number 1 from the 3 that I'm going to show, because I'm going to show 3 hats, right? So
yeah, we'll quickly just touch on favorite logos to work with.
Boston logos, Boston logos, any Boston logos, whether it be the Red Sox, the Patriots, and believe it or not, I'm not a Celtics fan, although I love Boston teams. I don't necessarily rock a lot of Boston stuff. Boston Celtics stuff, but I'm more of an Orlando Magic guy, so I like Orlando Magic logos, and I also love weird logos like the coquis, like the iguanas, like I like things that are different. So yeah,
that's what it's all about. To be honest, it's finding, especially in a world that a lot of the same logos are used all the time. It's nice to find something that maybe it's been used, but hasn't been used so much that you can put a nice spin on it and it'll look fresh and new, and everyone's like, oh, what's that? Knowing full well that you've seen it on many hats, but it's never looked like that, and you're like, well, I like that, and that's part of the creative.
Adding a different touch to it, the customization of these hats is amazing.
Right, we'll get to that point now. So, crown 1, there we go. Let's get
that's
to
what I'm talking about.
Juicy bit.
So my crown for number 1 is actually the very first crown that was released by a store, which was Crown Legends. And again, WGC_17, which is Geo, did this mock-up for me when I didn't know how to do anything, when I was just brand new into the customization game and with hats. And it's my take on the MIT school colorway. So these colors on here are actually, MIT school colors, and this is a very nice like burgundy brim with a nice gray undervisor, black guts. This right here is a metallic silver B with the same burgundy outline, the same color button as the brim. And then on the side, what we went with, and again, this is one of those things where you got to pay attention, because MIT has columns and a dome in 2 locations, I believe. So I went with columns and the dome on the side pad. So a lot of people that have this hat, this was the very first hat that was dropped, by a store at Crown Legends, and this was my first dropped hat. So has a lot of sentimental value, because when this hat dropped at the store, I said, you know what, I got to be there. So I spent $1,000 out of my own.
I remember you going there. I remember.
I spent $1,000 out of my own pocket, and I took my daughter with me. And I'll get to a story with my daughter, but I took my daughter with me, which she actually, she was the first person that got into the hats with me, like when I first started thinking about creating. And I took her up there with me, and they treated us so well. They were so welcoming. It was a nice, safe environment, very good environment, welcoming environment. And it was such a memorable moment where I was able to meet so many great people from the hat community in Boston. And oh my gosh, it just felt like a homecoming, So
that's the difference, though. That'd be. I always say, like, I would like to do that if I ever get a store drop somewhere in New York. I'd say, because it's more accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If ever they come, I would personally. I'd like to go myself. Just
absolutely,
like just the experience, because at the end of the day, you're never going to get that experience again.
No, and I've tried to replicate it, and with other drops like in Orlando, because now I primarily design with Orlando, Pro Image Orlando, which shameless plug for them, or at Pro Image Orlando on IG. But I've tried to replicate that, and it hasn't been the same. It's just not much of a hat community in Orlando, not yet. We're building that. We're building towards that, with more and more hats that come out here locally. But we, being in Boston, I got to meet so many amazing people in person. And I'm one that I really, really enjoy meeting people in person, and just sharing moments with these people, talking about hats, talking about what got them into collecting, who their favorite creators are, things like that. You know what I mean? Because, we each have favorite creators. Now, one thing that I forgot, oh my gosh, I got to get it. So this is my hat, right? The one that I wear, you know what I mean? The one that has the pin and everything. But check this out. Hold on. Oh man, I should have been ready. I'm so sorry.
Listen, we love organized chaos. I love chaos.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely organized chaos. So one of the things that I did, oh, come on, Jose. Look at that, me throwing out my government name. Now you guys know. So, all right. So one of the things that was brought to my attention from one of my cousins that actually went to the drop was, hey, why don't you treat it like a yearbook? And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Why don't you take your hat, right? Because I got more than one. Crown Legends was super nice. They gave me more than one hat, and treated it like a yearbook. So I had the people, everyone that showed up to the drop actually signed the hat. So it's just it's such an amazing thing to just see so many awesome people sign the hat and just be a part of that. And this is obviously got a little stained with the red marker, but this right here is priceless. Where people,
it's your history. That's a part of, like, we go on about hat history, and that's your hat history. That's probably in your collection. That'll always be that piece that represents that bit of hat history for you.
That moment in time was set in stone. Was set in stone by such an amazing moment with people signing, and obviously mine, and then the one that's protected, still the sticker on it and everything. So, but no, it was an amazing moment that I was able to share with my daughter up there, and she has such a great time, and then everybody that showed up, man, God bless every one of them, man, because it was just an amazing time.
Awesome.
That was my number one moment, or number one hat that kind of introduced me into the hat community, and it's just been nonstop ever since, and it's been cool.
You'll never get that feeling of so I presume, because you went to the actual drop, you didn't see the hat before that.
I mean, they sent me pictures. I had Gio send me pictures.
Physically see the hat?
No.
That initial feeling, you only get that once. You'll never, like when I got my box of the Oakland hat, my very first hat. I sat and stared at the hat for 10 minutes before I opened it, knowing because that initial, when you open that box and you see it for the first time, you'll only ever get that once.
That's it.
Like your first ever hat. What you thought in your mind is now here.
And it's amazing.
It's the craziest feeling ever. And you look at it and you stare at it and you're like, wow, that come out of my brain. And it is. It's crazy. I can't. And I know because when the other two hats come, yeah, like you're like, great, that's cool. But it wasn't the same feeling. It wasn't. It's just like, yeah, cool, I've done it again. But it's that first feeling.
I've said it many times, you know, to just people who ask me, you know, in person, you know, because they'll say, hey, you know, you have so many hats, which ones are your favorites? And I tell them the very first two. And it's just because, you know, those were the only two hats that I really ever intended to get made. Those are the ones that really kind of like had a lot of meaning to. And just to be able to have them in my hand is just, you know, amazing. So, but yeah, that was hat number one, man. You know, shout out to Crown Legends, shout out to Gio, you know, shout out to everybody that was there. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody that's still there. You know, still rocking with me and still good friends and just amazing. It's been amazing. So.
Rock on, baby, rock on.
Heck yeah.
That to me is why the hat community is so good, because you'll meet people, but then it's not, oh, well, I've come to get your hat, or I've bought your hat, I won't ever talk to you again. A lot of the times, then people, you end up becoming friends, and then you're always talking to people, whether it's about hats, whether it's nothing to do with hats, and
you get to know them.
That is the beauty of it all. Like, there's so many people I speak to, like, on a daily basis, or every other, at least weekly, every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You get to know these people not only on you know, on a hat community perspective, but you know, on a personal level, where, you know, you get to know, hey, you know, do they have kids or do they not have kids? Like, you know, how is everything? You know what I mean? So. You know, there are a lot of people that that again I've become very, very good friends with because of the hat community. You know, the Soul Man being one of them. You know, Bassie from the Chord being another one. Hat Bodega being one. Geo being one. You know, and I apologize because there are a lot of people that I really do consider friends. You know, Tommy Lee is working, is another great individual. You know what I mean? That I got to meet in person. Him and Prada Fitteds, another good individual, were the first two people that actually went up to my daughter and asked her to sign their hat, because you know, they didn't want her to feel like, you know, she was out of place or anything. And that was such an amazing move that will forever live in my brain. You know, like you know, you guys made my daughter feel so welcomed and so special, and that was amazing. So
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
That's cool. Plus, there's only two hats signed by your daughter. You know what I mean? Or however many. They're the first couple signed, and no one else can say, well, you haven't got one signed by Vera's daughter, have you? No.
That's the thing. Most people don't realize, you know, my daughter actually, you know, once we get into hat number two, I'll speak a little bit more, unless you want to get into hat number two already.
Listen, that's a perfect segue if I've ever heard one. There we go. Look, bang.
Hat number two. So this right here is my take on what I call the Harvard crest. You know, there was a lot of things with this hat that kind of just, there's a lot, right? My daughter at the time, you know, she was 16 years old, and I believe she was 15 going on 16. And I didn't know how to mock up a hat. And she's like, Dad, that can't be that hard. So she took a crack at it. You know, someone sent me a template, or I think we found one online, and she actually did like a mock-up, you know, and I was telling her where to put the colors and everything. And this was her mock-up, you know, like this was something that she mocked up for me with instruction, but she was a part of it. And the reason why I called it the Harvard crest was because this right here looks like the Harvard crest. This right here. So I colored it like it with the gold, and then obviously the black and the white, and then on the back itself. Now I have Crown Legends on here in the members only, but this hat was actually dropped at Pro Image Orlando. At the time, Crown Legends was interested in dropping this, but I had already told them that it was being done with another store.
Yeah.
So this could have been dropped along with the MIT at the same time. Now, mind you, Harvard, Crest, MIT, these are both schools in Cambridge, which is where I grew up. So it was me paying homage to where I grew up, really.
Yeah.
And I even called it the Harvard Yard because of the green. So, but yeah, this right here is the Harvard Crest school colorways, and
the colors. You know what stands out? The thing I like most about that, the white button.
Yeah. So, funny story. You guys should know him. I mean, he's over on your neck of the woods, Bungo Bar. Do you know Bungo Bar?
Nope.
Oh man, that's
just because I don't know that.
So
probably the rest of the UK probably do, but I don't.
So Catmaster Flash, please, once we're done, look up and follow Bungo Bar and add him to the UK team because he's over in the UK.
Bungo, Scotland, Bungo.
Yes.
I thought you were someone famous or something. Oh, yeah.
He is famous. He's famous in the UK.
Because he's Boston. Yeah, he's a Boston.
Yes.
Boston.
So that was actually something that Bungo said, don't change that. Keep that. That is amazing. So because I at the time I was invited to be a part of a group on Instagram, and it was cool because all these Boston people talking about Boston hats, and hey, this store's dropping this Boston. Hey, so cool. I'm still a part of the group, obviously, and it's really cool to just catch up with the people on there and still talk about hats. But no, this hat super amazing because it was the very first hat that was mocked up by my daughter, and she was just 15 at the time. So this is the Harvard.
Going back to Bungo, because Bungo did an F&F, didn't he? He did a Boston hat.
Yes.
To Bayern Munich. Was it Bayern Munich, weren't it? I think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I have that hat. Let me see if it's somewhere where I can reach it. And yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful hat. It's so darn nice.
That's it, yeah.
This right here is a gem of a hat. I absolutely love this hat. Bungo did such a great job with it.
Clean.
And oh my gosh, this gray or this silver with the navy blue and the metallic silver outline, and then the blue button with this cardinal, and then this is a beautifully done patch. Oh, I mean, this thing right here is one of my favorites. So, and this is his only one that he's done, but he knocked it out the park with this one. So
he's done a good job there. Oh, Bungo. Shout out Bungo, Scotland.
Shout out to Bungo, man. He's again one of the homies, and a lot of respect to him. He's been someone that I've been a fan of. He gets kind of like protective when I say that, but I've been a fan of his. You know what I mean? I've been a fan of his. I still am. It's pretty cool. It's pretty damn cool.
We like that.
But one thing that I wanted to show was that on the Harvard, what happened with the Harvard was I actually did my own pack, because back in the day, Pro Image allowed you to pay for your own, 18 hats. So this was the one that I did, and it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. The Batterman's a little bit different as well.
Let's have a look at the side pack.
So it's a little bit different, and I like the Pro Image version better, but this one is special because there's only 18 of this version out there. And then this one came out as a mess up from Pro Image
with the gold trim.
the metallic gold brim and the pewter B instead of the black.
Makes it like a chase. It's a chase.
It's like a 3.0 version of it, but this was a mess up. So,
but you never know that the mess up could have turned out crazy. You know what I mean? It does happen. I think I've seen a few people that they've done it. They've designed it. It's come and they've got the factory have got the colours the wrong way around in the patch or whatever, but it's turned out better than it would have originally. I've seen it on a Chicago hat. I can't remember whose it was. It turned out nice.
That's funny. That's actually funny, man. Hat number 3.
Crown 3.
There we go. So this crown right here is my latest crown that is about to drop on February 21st. And the special meaning behind this crown is, it's a fun fact because not a lot of people knew. I never really put it out there until last night. But my son, he's 7 now, but he's like, Dad, can you make one for me? Can you make me a hat? And I said, of course I can. I mean, of course I could, I could definitely put something together. And, I mocked up the hat. We were in Puerto Rico not too long ago, and he was chasing iguanas all over El Morro, which is a fort in Puerto Rico in San Juan. And, it just took me back to where he was just chasing these iguanas and just in shock and awe as to how big they were. And he was like, I love the mock-up. I showed him the mock-up and he's like, Dad, that's perfect. I said, all right, then that's going to be your hat. I'm going to give you your hat. So this hat right here is the Playeros, the Harrisburg.
So good.
And this one basically is my take again on a fresh Puerto Rico hat. Playeros basically means like beach goer. You love the beach. You know what I mean? So this is a metallic blue-gray New Era flag, which kind of symbolizes the reflection of water, like the sun on the water. You have the iguanas, the Harrisburg on here. This was something that I threw in just to add a very nice splash of color. This is actually called deep magenta, by the way. So, and then on the actual sunglasses, you see metallic gold rush. So it'll be like the sun.
Gold rush is the best metallic gold. Gold rush is so good.
So, and obviously now with the time that we're in, Puerto Rico is very popular, in mainstream. And, Bad Bunny, was just in the Super Bowl and, these hats were all over the place. And these are called pavas. So I figured, what, it's only great to even have a logo with the pava on, and obviously the Puerto Rican flag being so big there, and just it's really stitched in. Like you see how it comes out. So, and even the logo itself.
What color's the hat on the front? What color have you used for that hat?
So this right here is botanical green. This is burnt wood, and then this is 200 blue, and then this right here is new olive.
Olive, beautiful. And what color thread have you used on the actual hat of the logo?
I'm sorry?
What color is that on the actual hat of the logo?
What do you mean?
The logo, the front logo. What color?
This is olive.
And what about the hat?
The hat, I believe it's taupe.
That's nice. So I like that.
I believe it's taupe with the black outline.
So that's a nice color. That is. I do like that color. It's very nice.
Then you have the pink in here. So
I like that.
But yeah,
good, because if you were to list all them colors off and say that they're all going on one hat, you'd think that won't work. But then honestly, like that light blue with then like a brown brim, green button, purple. You'd think, but then when you see it, all works beautifully.
No, I know. But yo, give me 1 second. I have to actually deal with something real quick. Give me 1 second, Flash. And actually,
Listen,
I may.
the people. I'll dance to the people.
Oh my God! Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me.
I can put it on just me for now. I can. So, well, it's just me. Well, we might as well have a look at this Boston app because, to be honest, you know me, I'm not a Boston fan, but being a collector, I really do. I need at least one hat of every team. So it's took 20 years to buy a Red Sox hat, but I seen this with Crown Legends, and to be honest, if you know me, I love camo. Camo is a thing, and this red, white, light blue camo is beautiful. We got a nice B gold outline. I mean, this is the first hat I've got with this patch on, and to be honest, it hurts me to say, but it's one of the best patches. Let's be honest, and quite possibly need to buy some more. I know I said it. I know I might buy more Boston hats, but listen, you can't deny it. You can't deny a top side patch. So I probably will have to buy some more Boston hats.
Absolutely.
Oh, and we're back.
I'm back. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
We're back. Perfect.
I am so sorry, everybody. I actually had to make a quick phone call because my wife was trying to get a hold of me. There is a little bit of a family emergency that I gotta go take care of. So unfortunately, Catmaster Flash, I got to go. But
listen, we've covered near enough everything. I'll show my flashback crown to the crowd.
Please, yes, please.
Right, so let me, and then we'll be done pretty much. So, obviously, residing in Orlando, and that it's only right that we take it back to a bit of brown, bit of leather, bit of linen.
That's a Mickey, huh? That's a Disney one.
Bit of Steamboat Willie.
What material is that?
It's like a linen hemp material.
That is phenomenal. Holy Christmas.
And then it's the traditional Mickey, the old school, like 30s, 40s.
Wow.
And then
wow. What size is that?
5/8, not 3/8. I'll see you.
I was trying to be slick. You knew exactly what I was doing. Jesus.
And obviously, this was at a time. This was at a time where it was like Mickey Mouse was still copyright, because about 3 years ago it ended, didn't it? So now everyone can do anything they want with Mickey Mouse.
I tell you,
about 12 years old, I think.
That right there is a gem. And again, this is the reason why I think people should definitely, give you the respect that you deserve when it comes to hats. So, Catmaster Flash, man, my hat's off to you, brother. So,
listen, likewise, again, I do it because I enjoy it. I like the logos, I like the art of it. I like it all. It's not just purely based on sport to me. It's
no.
It's everything, and like you say, I do it because I enjoy it. I don't like this show. Like, people might think, oh, it's self-serving or whatever, but it's not.
It's
I like talking to people about stuff, and
it's fulfilling.
Like that, you can't buy that no more. That's a reshaper for your hat, an inflatable recap that reshapes hat.
I didn't even know that.
New era, you can't get that no more. But I don't know why, because that is one of the single greatest things a cat collection. It's like an inflatable. It's like and you pump it and you put the hat on it, and it shapes the hat perfectly. And you got reshape spray, refresh spray, a brush, and it used to get the But again, why stop making things like that?
Hey, new era, bring it back. Bring it back. So listen,
so
Camp Master Flash, I wish the best for your show. I wish the best for your program and for your adventures and the things that you want to do, obviously, within the hack community. I think that this is an amazing platform, and I'm honored, man. I'm honored that you even asked for me to spend this time with you. I'm sorry that I got to cut it short. I do have to get out of here, but
this is second to family emergencies. Again, I appreciate you coming on and
thank you,
spending the time with us, telling us the stories, showing us some beautiful hats.
Of course.
And, listen, on that note, dance break out.
Yeah.
I've been Cat Master Flash. He's been Cat Barrera. We've been Flashback to the Fitteds. And until next week, peace.